And
we're live. Yeah.
Cool.
Hello. Hey everybody. We'll give everyone a second to jump on. We're a little bit late notice because we delayed it, and then Ollie told people about today's live today. So, but welcome to Crystal Diaries, everyone. This is Leisa from Soul Magick. She's joining us today. And we're going to be talking about master crystals. If you guys, if you actually do want to ask questions, hey Natalie, if you want to ask questions too, you're going to have to click StreamYard, give permission to StreamYard so we can see your name, and then Lisa or I can answer your questions if you've got any. But today Lisa wanted to talk to you guys about master crystals. Excuse me. So what are master crystals, Lisa?
Yeah, cool. So first of all, thanks for having me. Master crystals are a formation of crystal that's pulled out of the ground exactly as it is, usually unpolished but very beautiful, and it has a particular formation usually in the face of the crystal. So these have been written about by a lot of people. Most of them kind of come about from a lady by the name of Katrina Raphael, who many years ago downloaded a lot of the information about the master crystals. And then there's been other people along the way who have discovered others and written about them. So in the crystal healing world, we kind of think that all of these master crystals have special powers, I guess, more so than your average, kind of crystal that's out there. I brought a couple of my favorites in to talk to you about and show you.
That's awesome. So, well, I know how many different master crystals are there? There's at least 15, isn't there?
Yeah, geez, I actually haven't counted that, but there's probably between 15 and 20, I think. Yeah.
And a master crystal is usually always a clear quartz or a quartz.
So always from the quartz family. So most of them are in clear quartz, smoky quartz. A few you get in citrine, a couple you get in amethyst, and that's it. So they don't come in rose quartz. Rose quartz grows in a different formation. Agate, of course, is part of the quartz family. They don't come in agates either. So but a couple of those. Actually looking at my collection of ones that I brought in with me tonight, a couple of them are smoky quartz and a couple of them are clear quartz.
Oh, cool. I love master crystals. I have a knack for picking up record keepers, and just knowing as soon as I pick up that crystal, I'm like, yeah, it's got a record keeper on it, and then I can find it within a few seconds. And now I'm getting away with in hydros too. Sorry.
Beautiful. No, well, do you know what? Record keepers elude me. So So even a couple of people have sent me a record, what they think is a record keeper. I get it, and I'm like, there's no record keepers in that. So I've got one. Actually, I've got two that I've actually programmed and asked not to remove their record keepers, just so that I've got them that I can show people like my students, for example.
Before we actually, since we're talking about record keepers, for people out there that don't know what a record keeper is, could you explain it? You can't.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, well, you can't see it. You can't see. This is my very unusually shaped record keeper. So what a record keeper is it has triangles facing up, triangles in the face of the crystal. So they do appear and then they disappear. So, I believe, we believe that record keepers show themselves to the person when they are ready to receive the information. So the record keepers contain ancient information from, possibly other galaxies and other lifetimes. And when one comes into your possession, if you are a vibrational match for that crystal, you'll be given the information. And like I said, sometimes you look at a crystal, it'll be a record keeper. The next time you look, the record keeper will have disappeared. So they come and go out of crystals all of the time.
That's really interesting. I know.
Yeah.
So basically, it's like a tiny little raised triangle, and some crystals you can find they will have like 20 or 30 on them. Sometimes it's just little one, But and also there's something I remember reading years ago where they said that a 3-sided triangle for it to grow on a 6-sided crystal is impossible. So that's something that just annoys the shit out of scientists, where they're like, it can't be possible. And you're like, well, look at the crystal, dude.
Yeah.
So
exactly.
awesome.
That it is a rare phenomenon, which is beautiful. And the triangle can either be raised on the surface or flat on the surface, and sometimes they're actually pushed back into the crystal. So I've got a beautiful Brandenburg and Hydro here that has got one in it. Oh, trying to get in the camera. That is pushed back in the crystal, which is really beautiful.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, so that's what a record keeper is.
That's one of the master crystals. And they say a good way to activate it, I remember hearing this would have been 20 years ago, is that you get the crystal and you just like rub your fingernail along it, and then that kind of can activate that information in there.
Yeah, absolutely. And a lot of the master crystals you can hold up to your third eye as well, where the triangles are, you can hold to your third eye, and that information, if it's yours to have, will be downloaded. So, and of course, when we download information from crystals, we sometimes don't know what it's about, or don't really even understand that is what has happened. And when the time's right, you'll be given access to that information.
That's cool.
Yeah, cool. So do you want me to talk about the next one?
Yeah, please.
Yeah, cool. So hi Samantha, how are you? Nice to see you on. I missed your live last week with the grids, but I did pop on later and have a look. So
yeah, it's on YouTube, so you can watch it after.
Oh, cool. Yeah, good.
Yeah, and this will be on YouTube.
Beautiful. Now the next one that I've brought in to show is a Smoky Celestial. So this is kind of like Celestial is probably one of my favorite master crystals, and I do have quite a few of them. So, and I think they're all smoky, and one of them is amethyst. So what these are here for, first of all, the way that you see these, they've kind of grown almost like in a flat structure. So there's lots of little terminated points over the surface of the crystal. So I occasionally see things called tumbled celestials, and I'm like, how do you even know that wasn't a celestial?
Yeah. I'll clarify something too with that before, because so crystals normally grow upwards. Whenever you'll see a base, and then you'll see the crystal grows upwards. And the celestial has a base, but it's grown sideways. So sorry.
Which is that's all right. Thank you for that. So that's why it kind of looks a bit flat. So it's a very powerful crystal, and what these are here for is for mass healing. So these kind of come with a warning if you want to use one for yourself or with your clients, if you're a healer, that they can potentially bring on a healing crisis for people, because they are really powerful. And if you're not ready to have a look and do that emotional healing, then you probably shouldn't be using one of these. So these are really powerful and, again, encoded with information, and they're here for mass healing. So I feel like if one comes into your possession, that you almost have a responsibility for taking or, participating in the healing of the mass consciousness, by being authentic, being who you are, being full of love, being full of light, and actually working with your shadow and helping you kind of, help other people have that ripple effect through the consciousness. So, these are really beautiful to work with. These are also great for, they say, for people who are suffering with psychedelic drug burnout. So
they've burnt out from taking too many drugs, or
burnt out for taking too many drugs. So
they had the limit. They were like, "Yeah, you're good here," and now you've gone too far. So this now takes some crystal to help you.
So, I have not had that problem myself, so I can't guarantee that it works. But, what the books say about this crystal is that it works with when you have a drug burnout, psychedelic drug burnout, you're producing too many, and I can't remember the hormone, out of your zeal chakra and your pineal gland. And the celestial will
serotonin?
No, I can't remember. forget all the time what it is. But this will help balance out that hormone that is in overdrive. So, like I said, I haven't had that trouble myself, but
you know when to cover it off.
Yeah.
No, I'm joking.
So that's what they say that is for. So.
I've also heard celestials are a really good crystal that access like the fairy realm and different, like they're more of a gateway crystal too. They allow you to open up to receive from different realms or stuff too. Have you heard that? Or
look, I haven't heard that, and that is not my personal experience. But you know, as you know, we all have different experiences with crystals, and you know that's why we chuck out the books and don't worry about what they say, because each crystal is here in your lifetime for a purpose for you. So it wouldn't surprise me. I feel like it opens portals, so it wouldn't surprise me that it opens portals into the fairyland.
Yeah, and I love that you're saying that too, is that for, you know, every crystal will do something different for each person because everyone is so different. So that's the thing is, like, for me personally, I don't like getting caught up too much in a definition of what a crystal is supposed to do for one person. I just will like allow myself to kind of choose whatever crystal kind of is screaming at me and going, hey, I want to come and play with you. So I'll be like, okay, cool. Instead of I'm going through this right now, what crystal do I need? I just ask the crystals to go, who can help me with this?
Yeah, exactly. And, you know, I encourage my students and my customers to do the same. And people often message me and say, why don't you put the description of the crystal when I sell it? And I'm like, because I don't care what the description says. I'll tell you what it means for me. But I want, you know, when you pick a crystal, you should absolutely be tuning into your intuition and, you know, connect with the crystals and ask them which one wants to work with you or which one you need for whatever it is that you're working through at the time. So,
yeah, I agree. I think like it's interesting because it's an energetic thing that we do. Crystals contribute an energy and we're energetic beings. So it's like, and then people come along and they try and cognitively work out what the right thing is, where it's like when you actually just follow the energy and kind of go, okay, I know cognitively this should be this, and this crystal. But like what happens if I just kind of ask the crystals who would like to help me with this, who can contribute, and then you'll notice one crystal. Excuse me, I'm choking on.
Exactly. And I love when people come to me and say, you know, I've come for, say, a rose quartz because that's what the book says or that's what someone else has told me that I need to work with. But they leave, you know, with a blue lace agate, for example, because they've actually intuitively chosen what crystal they need.
Yeah. And that's really important. I love that you say that too, because that's one of the keys is like a lot of people will tell you probably what to get, but at the end of the day, you will know. You will know. You'll get that feeling when you pick up that crystal. You'll just kind of know. And that's the thing is like, I always tell people, I'm like, don't listen to anyone else. Always listen to what your awareness tells you. Always listen to what your intuition tells you with everything in your life, not only crystals, but with everything. Yeah,
exactly. Actually, I have quite a few people come to me and say, I've been told to either use this particular crystal and keep it on me at all times, or the other one, which is really funny, don't use a particular crystal.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
I always think that's pretty funny. Particularly, you know, psychic mediums, you know, that information often comes from psychic mediums to say, don't use this particular crystal. And I'm like, that doesn't make any sense.
Especially when you're an energetic being, it's like, how can one crystal be bad for you? Explain that one to me. But anyway, what's the next master crystal you're going to show us?
All right, so the next one I brought in, it is a polished one, but it is one of my favorites. So this is what we call a channeling dowel.
Oh, nice.
So a channeling dowel is a combination of two master crystals. So it is, if you can see I'll get it in the light. So one face has got 7 sides of the crystal, and on the back of that is a perfect triangle, and that is times 3. So we've got 7, 3 triangle, 7 sides triangle, 7 sides triangle. So, and that's what we call, it was channeled by a lady by the name of Jane Dowel, which is why it's called a channeling Dowel.
Oh, cool.
And the purpose of that is two-pronged. So first of all, it's a channeling crystal, which is one of the masters on its own. So that does exactly that, channels information from the cosmos, from your guides, from your higher self, whoever you're connecting with. And then the transmitter part of it will transmit information out to the cosmos. So what these are great for is people who like to do both of those things, channel information and also ask the universe for help and support. So what it makes you become really great at is communicating with spirit, with source, because if you don't ask for exactly what it is that you get, you might be surprised about what you do get. So,
yep. And you have to be willing to ask the universe. You can't expect them to figure it out for you.
Exactly.
Yeah, this was actually, I was thinking about this before as I was driving down. I was like, it's so interesting, that thing of like the universe gives you exactly what you're asking for, whether you actually want to know it or not. They always give you exactly what your point of view is with money, with relationships, with everything in your life. Everything that we actually do create in our lives is something that we've decided, and we've kind of gone, this is my point of view with this. And then the universe goes, okay, you've got this point of view, so here's the entire universe to match your point of view. So it's just like when we change our point of view, how quickly does the entire friggin' world change with us?
Yeah, exactly. And it's always interesting. People say, you know, that things like money, for example. Well, I asked the universe for money, but how much money did you ask for? You know, if they gave you $1, there's your money. So if you need $10,000, you've got to ask for $10,000. You might not get it, but at least you've put it out there.
Well, the thing is, it's also like when you say that, when you might not get it, you actually might get it. The thing is, either like we say, it might not show up the way you think it's going to, but it will show up. And that's the thing. It might show up where you might have 20 people ring you up and go, can I give you $1,000? That's terrible maths. They'll give you $500 or whatever. But it's actually, for me, it's being open to receiving it from all different ways instead of what I've decided it should look like. A lot of the time we kind of go, no, I have to get it through my job. But that is a limitation in itself, because it's like, well, how many different ways can the universe contribute to you? You might get someone might offer you a massage for free, which is worth $100 or whatever it is. But it's being willing to receive that too and going, okay, universe, show me this kind of thing. It's really cool when you do come out of that, you start receiving a lot more, and you start becoming aware of how much the universe desires to contribute to us too. Sorry.
Yeah. That's all right. So the best way to use one of these is through meditation. So, you know, sit in meditation, channel, you know, transmit what it is you want to transmit to the universe. And then, so that's your prayer part. And then the receiving information, or the channeling, is through the meditation. So it's a really beautiful crystal. If you want crazy sleep, it's also great to sleep with. So,
oh, cool.
Yeah, lots of downloads, which is not always fun. Cool. So the next one I brought in is called a window. So I brought this beautiful smoky quartz in there.
Wow.
And you can
that's a huge one.
I know, isn't it? So you can see the diamond there in the face. So that's what it is. It's a diamond, and it's the main event of the crystal. So we often find little tiny diamonds in the faces of crystals, but it doesn't always mean that they're a master crystal. So what the window is, or what it does, so it does two things. First of all, a window allows you to see out, to see your opportunities. So if you're feeling a little bit stuck about where you're going, what your purpose is, that kind of thing, you can use a window to help you look out for those opportunities. And the other thing it does is it reflects. So when you look into a window, if you are, a great way to kind of look at, if you are telling yourself bullshit, or, you know, someone's triggered you, for example, you can use a window to have a look at that reflection back on you and say, what is it in me that needs healing? Why am I being triggered? And what is this bullshit that I'm telling myself?
Because we do like to tell ourselves bullshit.
We certainly do.
Yeah, I can put my hand up and go, I tell myself bullshit a lot of the time, where I'm like, I'm not that powerful. I'm not an energetically aware being. We like to tell ourselves bullshit all the time.
Exactly. And you know, as soon as it comes out of your mouth that it's bullshit.
Yeah.
So, a great way to use this, there's two ways you can use it. You can either, through a meditation, just gaze into the window. So not closing your eyes, just closing them down and gazing into the window. Or otherwise, you can also hold the window up to your third eye as well. So a really powerful crystal and a powerful meditation tool as well.
That's awesome.
So, yeah, great for that that surface level shadow work. So is what I like to say. I don't feel like it's deep, but it's at least, surface level. The bullshit radar.
Cool. Just knee deep into it. Yeah. What's the next one? What next?
So the next one I brought in is one of my favorite little laser quartzes, a laser wand. So I see things called laser wands on the market all the time, which aren't actually laser wands. So what a laser wand is, and this is one of my personal tools that I use in healing. So what a laser wand, or how it looks like, is a thin, they usually start out quite thick down the bottom, as you can see in this one, thick, and they taper down to a really sharp point at the end. Yeah. So a lot of our laser wands are actually Lemurians as well. This one's got, the barnacle off the side, which doesn't matter, but it's all about the point on the end. So I see lots and lots of laser crystals being advertised as lasers, but they actually have, a cut top, or, they're not quite pointy. So you've got to look out. It's all about the point. And what that...
So it's basically, I'll just repeat that. So it's basically any crystal, it'll be wide at the base, and then it'll taper down to a fine point.
Yeah. So what we use lasers for is cutting cords, cutting energetic cords off people, which is a really powerful process. We also use them in psychic surgery as well. So it's a really, really powerful crystals. And what these do is when you point it at somebody, it actually cuts through their auric field. So if you don't know how to use one of these, it's really important that you learn how to use it. And second of all, that you don't wave it around into people's auric fields, that you keep your finger on the end of it, and then when you're ready, point it into their body, into their auric field, and do what you need to do. And then, of course, repair the auric field at the end. So that's a little...
Repair the auric field at the end. How would you do it?
So energetically, you're clearing out, making sure that all the tears and all the holes that are in the auric field have been closed up, smoothed over, and healed. So there's a variety of different ways to do that. One of the ways is to literally smooth it over and fill the body, fill the auric field with a particular color, either white light or, electric blue light. So all modalities almost have, a repair the auric field kind of process. Make sense?
Yep.
Cool. And the last one I brought in is Lemurian seed. So actually I brought two of them in. These are my two favorites.
I love Lemurian.
Yeah, me too. So I brought the Lemurians in because apart from the fact they're one of my favorites and very high vibrational, I often also see things advertised as Lemurians that are in fact not Lemurians. So just because a crystal has got lines on it doesn't mean that it is a Lemurian. So lots of crystals have lines on them, or what we call barcodes. So the way to look or find a Lemurian, there's a couple of telltale signs. One of them is that it will have 6 sides to the crystal. Okay, a true Lemurian will only have 6 sides, and each second side will be barcoded. So the main one will be barcoded smooth, barcoded smooth, barcoded smooth.
Yeah, and so then 3 sides will have the bars on them.
Yep, exactly. And then at the top and the faces of the crystal, there should also be 6 faces at the top. And most of the time you'll find that the biggest side or the widest side with the bars on it will have the smallest face. Okay, it doesn't have to be that way, but you'll find that often it is. And often they're usually thicker at the bottom and tapered at the end. But again, that's not always the case as well. But the way to activate one of the Lemurians is to run your fingernail, your thumbnail down. Sorry?
Oh, no, I just said, oh, yeah.
Yeah,
and it's quite satisfying too.
Yeah.
It's like calming. Yeah.
Yep. So run your fingernail down the barcodes of the Lemurian, and if you're an energetic match for that crystal, you'll be given lots of information.
So when you say energetic match, what does that mean for the people that could you explain that a little bit more?
Yeah, cool. So I feel like every crystal that you work with that comes into your space, you know, the ones that you bring home, you think they're beautiful, and then you sit them on the shelf, and that's where they stay. So, and then there's other crystals that you are attracted to that you can't leave alone, that you take home, and you have an overwhelming need that you need to work with. So those are the ones that I think you've got the energetic match for, and they're the ones that are going to give you information and really help you heal. The ones that you think are pretty and that you put on the shelf and that's where they go, that's where they stay. I feel like when that happens, it's not an energetic match.
Yeah.
And it might be an energetic. Yeah, it might be an energetic match down the track, or it might even have been an energetic match when you first bought it. But, you know, by the time you get it home, the work's been done almost.
That's really cool. Yeah. Can I ask you a question? So a lot of people talk about a lot of people seem to think that if they buy a crystal and take it home and just carry it around, that they think that that's going to be the thing that heals them. Do you want to talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, cool. So, look, crystals are very intelligent beings. They know what their job is, even if you don't know what their job is. But you have to work with with intention with a crystal, and work with it. Develop a relationship basically with it for you to access the healing benefits or the healing properties of the crystal, I think, anyway. So, you know, those crystals that you bring home and that you don't cleanse, that you just pop in your bra like a lot of women do and think that'll help me, you don't get the full benefit out of it. You know, you've got to cleanse it, you've got to have a conversation with it, you've got to program it, you've got to work with it on a regular basis, and that's when you'll get the power out of it.
Yeah. That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's really cool.
Yeah.
I think the thing is, a lot of people think too that they buy a crystal and hope that their life will just change just by carrying that too. And for me personally, I look at a lot of the time, okay, if I bought this crystal or I'm carrying this crystal for whatever I'm asking for to change in my life, then when stuff comes up, you have to be willing to look at what's actually coming up, what your point of view is that you've actually created this whole thing with. So this is the thing is crystals can't actually heal you unless you are willing to change what that point of view is in your life. And that point of view could just be as simple as to do with money. You know, that having money is a bad thing. A lot of people out there believe that, you know, having money ruins you or whatever. But it's like, if your point of view is that having money is a bad thing, and then you're asking the universe to give you money, the universe is like, I'm trying to give it to you, but your point of view is like, you shouldn't have it. So it's just like going straight out kind of thing. So it's really important for me. I like to acknowledge and look at what my point of view is that is actually creating this. And this is the thing is like, your point of view creates your reality. And when you're willing to change that point of view, and that's what crystals contribute to give you more awareness. But when you're willing to actually change that point of view, kind of go, what point of view have I got here that's creating this? Okay, if it's not working for me, am I willing to change it? And then looking at changing that too. So
yeah, but I think you're right. I think, you know, people see, you know, crystals are a tool, just like anything else that we might bring into our life to help us change our point of view or help us to heal. They are a tool, and people, you know, I sometimes talk to women who have got, particularly women who have got like bras and pockets full of crystals, thinking that all of those crystals mumble jumbled together is going to support them through the day and make them happy and make work not be shit and all that kind of thing. But you know, that's not true. It's a tool, and you've got to take action, just as you said.
Yeah.
So I think they help. They certainly help. But, you know, you've got to be selective with the crystals that you use and pick them for the right purpose, and, you know, kind of allocate a job to that crystal almost to help you move through whatever it is that you're trying to move through, whether it heal or change your mindset or whatever it is.
Yeah, that's awesome. I love it.
Yeah. Cool.
Well, thank you so much. It's almost half an hour. Well, it's half an hour since we started. Thank you so much for that, Leisa. If anyone wants to contact Leisa, she's on Facebook under Soul Magick. I always get confused with StreamYard. It's like there. You can look up Leisa Soul Magick on Instagram and Facebook, and you run crystal classes and you do healings on people too. Tell us a little bit about it.
Yep. So my business is Soul Magick. So I sell crystals similar to Simon, and I also run a diploma of crystal healing and crystal shamanism, and see people one-on-one clients for healings. So yeah, use a combination of modalities. Crystals obviously features very heavily.
Awesome. All right. Well, thank you so much for joining me. I hope this helped everyone or anyone. Hope this contributed to you guys.
Perfect. Yeah, I can see there's a few people on, so hello to those people who are on. Yeah.
And next week we're going to be, hopefully I'm going to convince Adam Chamberlain to come and join us, and we're going to talk about crystals too. So
perfect. Yeah, great stuff.
Thank you so much, Leisa. Really grateful for you joining on. It was a really good chat. I enjoyed it.
Cool. No worries. Thank you so much for having me.
Okay. See you later, guys.
Bye. Bye.